Hello, hello, hello. I think we're live. I think we are, and I think the microphone's working. Okay. Today I'm gonna just I need to concentrate on getting textures for the Victorian house done, and I've also got the kitchen. What do you call it? The kitchen cooker range fire thing. So I've got that to do really. But what I wanted to do right now was the wallpaper textures. I'm trying to pick relatively kind of not neutral, but sort of muted, slightly muted colours. I think I'm just trying to reference. I know extravagant houses used to have, very very flowery damask kind of wallpaper. A lot of flowers, because of course these were all printed by hand. So I think I've got some fairly basic ones here. I have got some damask-ish kind of wallpaper. I've got a massive library of textures that I used to use when I did photography full time. It's just trying to find. Problem with damask wallpaper is it very often isn't what do they call it, seamless. So I might not be able to get now there's a wallpaper. I think I've actually... Okay, so after this one, I really only need one more. Really only need one more. I apologise for my look today, but I haven't shaved. I like to leave my... Oh, there we go. The problem with that one is that I don't want it to be too distorted. I haven't really got sort of a damask wallpaper that got some very nice wallpapers, but for very small rooms. Ooh, now that would be that would be a really nice one, but very gaudy. Yeah, I think I'll bring... I don't know. I think I'm sharing my screen. Am I sharing my screen? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I've just got all of these. I don't want anything that's too bright, you know, or too loud. That's the word I'm looking for. Grungy. Oh, there we go. That could be... have we got a green? Yeah, we've kind of got a green. Could do with a... we haven't got a red. We could maybe do a red. I'm not so sure that that's seamless. No, it isn't. It isn't seamless. Ooh, very 1960s Fruit Loops. Groovy jungle. Fruit Loops. Psychedelic. Yeah. There you go, there's one. And no, it isn't. So I'm kind of picking wallpapers really that are not gonna, you know, when they're being tiled, so the texture will go from top to bottom, but then it will need to be tiled horizontally, and I don't want it sort of, you know, overlapping and looking bad. So that's why I'm kind of picking... I think we've got... no, we haven't got that one. We could go for that one. I don't know whether that is... it does actually look like it's... cool. Oh, there we go. And the only problem is it's not... see, this is what I'm saying. It's like when you start layering this, it will look really, really weird. When you start tiling it, rather, and it's just going to look bad. I don't know why they went to the... I mean, these are quite old, so you know, they went to the trouble of making these. You would have thought that they would have made them... actually, that might be quite a nice one. Sort of, you know, dark. I mean, you know, Victorian age, they did actually have an awful lot of dark. Things were dark, weren't they? There we go. So we've got a grey one of these, and now we've got a black one. Okay. Now, the... I'm not going to make physical skirting board like the, you know, like that's around the ceiling. So I'm gonna. This is one of the reasons why I want to lay these out, is because I want to make the skirting board part of the wallpaper. And it will basically just go along the bottom. It looks to me like most Victorian skirting board, which is the board, you know, the wood that goes around the edge of the room on the, you know, on the wall but near the floor. I mean, I've seen some pretty, in old houses, just literally planks of wood. I mean, they weren't anything other than just planks of wood. Yeah, I mean, okay, you can get wood, textured wood, or it looks like most of them were actually just painted white. There we go. This is what I have seen most of the time. Is this type here, which is very, very plain. Very, I mean, it's literally sort of 6x1. Very plain. So I don't think it's really... Yeah, I mean, there is no standard. You know, different houses have got different skirting boards. Some have got mouldings on, like that particular one there. I mean, it's just literally, you know, looks like a, you know, a piece of 6x1, and you know, what is it they there's a special tool that they use for moulding. You know, it's like a plane, but it's got a special blade on there that's got the moulding, and then they just, you know, I think keep it pretty simple. Okay, so using that as a reference image, okay, so using that as a reference image, I mean, you know, again, like in some of their rooms, they've just literally got planks. I mean, they look like sort of, you know, 5x1 inch planks going around the edge of the room, with pretty much zero moulding on them. And then they've put in, you know, so some of the rooms have got really simple moulding. So there's a good reference image. So I'm just trying to find a reference image, really. Okay, so I think this is a reference image would be quite good. Let's bring that in here. So I'm using this amazing program again. Infinity Designer, which I just this has transformed my workflow It really has. I'll maybe if we get time, I'll actually show you something that I was able to do earlier on, or yesterday rather. I didn't stream yesterday. I was just having so many, and I know that I am not alone with all the issues with streaming, with Twitch and OBS and stuff like that at the moment. There are massive problems with streamers at the moment. There was one poor lady today that I follow, and she was actually onto the Streamlabs support, talking to them while she was streaming, because and she's had this problem for a few months now and she's just got a brand new computer, she's got a really nice microphone, she's got all of the stuff, and it sounds like she's talking underwater sometimes. You know, her audio will just sound awful, and I was having the same problem. I was having problems with my audio just part of the way through dropping out. I mean, it was literally just dropping out, and then of course I was talking away for 5 minutes and then realizing that you know, that my microphone had just dropped out. No reason at all. I mean, it works perfectly okay in audio programs, in video programs and such like. I use it for dictation, I use it for video vlogging, not a problem. But streaming using OBS and Twitch, just massive problems. So I'm going to try and keep this really simple. In fact, let's make it so I want to try and make sure that I get the proportions relatively correct. So if we think this is in a fairly big room, I think it needs to be a little bit whiter. I don't want it to be pure white, but yeah, I think keep it something like that. So thinking that this is going to be at the bottom like so, I now need to make it look like it's molded, but at the same time it doesn't. Well, yeah, well, let's just see. So see, I'm not familiar with the tools yet. I'm still trying to find my way around the tools here. On you know, when I was using Draw Plus before, it was just second nature. The tools are very different in this version, and they've just upgraded it to version 1.9, and it's got a whole. I was playing around with some of the things today from after looking at a video, and it looks, you know, it looks to be quite amazing what it can do. Right, so I think I want. Ooh. Nope. I think I can do this by. There we go. That's what I wanted to do, is to get a straight line. Okay. That needs to go there. That needs to be a black line. And it needs to be square. And about, let's just try. Yeah, 2.3. Okay. Don't want to make that black. I want to make it kind of a dark. Whoa! What are you doing? Oh, of course I selected the wrong thing. Come on. Curve. Thank you. Yeah, so it's just getting used to this. Of course, okay, yeah, duh. It's this that I need to change. There we go. So I don't want to make it black. I want to make it like it's going to be dark because there'll be wooden floorboards in these buildings. So okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to zoom in. Yeah. So I just want to make that look like it's got a bit of a shadow. Okay, I'm just going to keep working. Right, so really what I want to do is I think really what I need to do. Okay, so I'm thinking that is probably, I might do it slightly smaller. I'm going to shrink this down and zoom in to 1. So basically I want to try and replicate what this looks like, the skirting board looks like, by just using lines. So if I move that up, keep clicking on the wrong thing. It's because that curve, it's a curve, so it's so small. CV. Right, there we go. So I need, it's kind of right at the top, isn't it? About there. That needs to go to the back. Okay. Thought that was too big. I reckon probably about 1. Yeah. I'm getting my way around this slowly but surely. Okay, my mouse cursor is gone. What? So my mouse cursor disappears when it's on that program, but on my other screens it's there. What is going on? So my mouse cursor appears here. Oh dear, right. Nope, it's just this program that's causing the problem. Right, let's see if I can close it down and open it back up again. Do the old. Okay, let's try again. Microphone still working? It is. So interesting. I might need to keep an eye on that. I don't know whether that's a bug in well, it must be a bug with Infinity. I mean, it is a new update, so they went from 1.8 something to 1.9, and I did actually see on some forums today actually that some people had been logging issues. So there's always issues with updates on software, always. Right, so Control C V. So we've got kind of a light. Alright, so we've got this kind of really light line. Let's put that in at 0.2. Okay, so we've got a really light line, then I need to lighten that up a little bit more. Don't want that so dark, really. There we go. I suspect that I'm going to have to move that up, actually. And then we've got what looks like CV. We have another line. I think I need to move these up. So we've got the kind of the curved moulding bit. And then I think CV. No. CV. There we go. And then we've got that bit at the top. Okay, so I think I've made this too. So that line there needs to be even lighter. Right. Okay, I think that looks like a skirting board. I think this one needs to be just very slightly lighter. Yeah. So the thing is now is this board is, I think, a little bit too big. This is the kind of thing that I really wanted to try and make sure that I got right. So if we move that to the top, that'll be fine. So this is actually let's make that 6. Yeah, I think that's about right. Let's move the shadow that's going to be along the bottom. I think that could be a little bit too. Let's put that down as 0.5. Yeah. Yeah, I think that looks convincing. One thing I miss, actually, and I'm sure it's just a setting and I can't find it in this version, this dark grey bit around the edge, I used to use that in Draw Plus as a kind of a, you know, you could do something, but then you wanted to, excuse me, you know, bring it back into the image again, and it was almost like a holding area, like you'd push stuff away from your drawing board and you'd put it to the side, but you can't seem to do that with this program. You do that and it disappears. So I kind of wonder whether that's a setting. I don't know. I don't know what you would call that space. General, miscellaneous. No. I don't know what you'd call it. tools, user interface with user interface. Don't know. I don't know where that would be. I might, you know, I found most things actually just by searching. I think that's a convincing. Is that convincing? Yeah. I mean, again, you know, it's not really going to be something that people see. My only other thing was to. I think this could look too clean, you know, for skirting board. And the same goes for the wallpaper. I'm not so sure anyone's really going to be bothered. On all of these curves, I don't want... Okay, so you have to do one individually. Okay, I'm going to keep checking chat just to see if anyone... No one's in chat. Microphone is still working. Okay, we're all good. We're all good. So the coving at the top, the wallpaper will go underneath the coving at the top. So it'll be, you know, it will look part of the ceiling and the wall, which is not a problem. And then the floors will have, they'll be wooden. I'm wondering if that should have a bit of a fade on it. I don't like is the fact that on the end has got, like, it doesn't end on the end, if you know what I mean. It's maybe it doesn't really matter. I mean, it looks like skirting board to me. So I really need to grab all of those. Group. There we go. And now I can... Right, so I can either do it like that, which I don't like the fact that that has got, if I crop that, no, that's going to stick out. I don't want that to stick out. Okay, let's ungroup that 1 minute. There's got to be a way of making ungroup. So this microphone's still working. You see, the only thing that I can do is bring that in like that. Ah, maybe that. Oh, okay. Okay, alright. Right. Duh. I'm still learning, like, the little, the little quirky things on this. Yeah, so that's towards the end. Okay, so that line really needs to go up there for this. Yeah, okay. Okay. I want to make sure that that's not going to start overlapping. Yeah, you see. Yeah, there we go. Oh, okay. Wow, very, very minor adjustments can be made. You used to be able to do this in Draw Plus, but it wasn't always accurate. You didn't really have that kind of level of accuracy. Wow. Okay. These are minor details, but believe me, when you bring textures into Blender and then obviously you're bringing it into Second Life, if you don't get these textures lined up right, they look bad. It's as simple as that. They just look bad, and you don't really want that. You don't really want that. Actually, did I get this one here? I don't believe I did. No, I didn't. You see, there I would have made a mistake. So you can see what I'm talking about. See, even that, I can see that that is still not 100%. There we go. There we go. Still not 100%. Of course, it looks bad when you that's what lets your builds down, is the fact that you don't, if you're going to do texturing, then do it right. Wow, I love the accuracy of this Infinity Designer. You didn't really have this kind of accuracy in Draw Plus. Not to this level. And speed. One of the things they did with this latest version is speed things up. Thing is, if you take your time and you do it right and you get a good job done, then I always think ahead about templates What is it I'm going to be using this for? And now I've got to, because each one of these is 100 pixels wide, and it's now going to be 100 and, no, sorry, 100 millimeter, not 100 pixels. It's 100 millimeters. That's quite high res, actually. Right, now I can group this. Now I know that I can duplicate this and it will be very accurate. It will now, there we go, perfect. That's pretty much what you want. I love the snapping features. Look at that, absolutely perfect. I love the snapping features of Infinity as well. So I can drop that right down and it's just snapped. Obviously I've put guidelines in, but yeah, look at that, it's just snapped straight in. Boom, there we go. Textures with skirting board. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so, and I only used three guidelines on that. So obviously one each for the tops and then one for the left hand side, and then now the textures, I know all the textures are exactly the same, and they're all going to be exactly the same size. They're going to be relatively easy to UV map onto the house. So I've got eight there. I think the kitchen one will probably be that one. I think the kitchen one needs to be even plainer than that. I might use an even plainer texture than that, because I don't think most Victorian kitchens they weren't, I think they were just painted. No, they weren't. Okay, so they did have wallpaper in them. Yeah, most of the ones that I've ever seen are just, yeah, I mean the majority of it, and some of the posher ones, you had tiles. You know, there's a specific kind of white tile. Yeah, look at this. So you had this kind of, now this would have been a very upmarket Victorian house would have had this kind of thing, with this level of detail in the, you know, the kitchen, and you know, this would have been right up. This would have been, you know, aristocracy level, really, a kitchen to that level of detail. But the majority of the kitchens seem to be just plain white. Some have got wallpaper. The majority of them seem to be white. Some have got wooden paneling, or yeah, I think most of them tend to be white. So I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to search for a see if I can find like a there's white. No, they're EPS files. I know I've got Damascus wallpaper there, but you know, that's no. I think I've got walls and stonework, so I think I will use, I know I've got like a painted ooh, Ooh, there's a tiles one. Could we go posh? No. Not really white. What I need is like a texture of just plain houses. No. Brick. No. Okay. What I might look for. Let's go to textures.com. What I'm looking for really is just a plain wall. Oh, they've changed their website again. Wow. Okay, so if we go white wall, there we go, painted plaster. No, that's corrugated. Painted plaster, there we go. Thing is, that's not seamless. Plain plaster, there we go. That's it. There we go, there we go. Okay, let's just grab that one. Oh, that's the AO. I don't... Oh! I'm looking in the wrong area. Tiles, roof, plastic, plaster. There we go. Here we go, here we go. White. Okay, they've changed their website, so it's picking up. Plain plaster is what I'm looking for, but it's like... I wonder what they've done. What have they done with all the... Maybe it wasn't... Maybe I'm on the wrong website. Let me check my... So, textures... Yeah, it is textures.com. Ah, no, is it free textures? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh, it's textures.com. It's the same. They've just changed their website. Okay, right, so let's go... People keep changing things. Bare walls. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Right. So you can't search. If you search, it brings up all the premium stuff. Okay, there we go. This will do. This one will do. Okay, this is good. Yeah, plaster, and it's a seamless texture as well anyway. So let's bring that in here. Texture, let's put that under walls. Okay, right. What I like about textures.com is that they give you, is it 14 credits a day or something? So you can download, you know, 14 credits worth of images for free. And walls and stonework. So I just downloaded this one, plaster. There we go. That will do for the kitchen. Perfect. In fact, I might even bring that up very slightly, just make it a bit more. Let's put a filter on there and let's brighten that up just very, very slightly. There we go. We got some imperfections on there, which is good. We just kind of want it. Yeah, that's about right. Off-white. Don't think we need any. No, we don't need any contrast on there. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so now we have all of our. So that should be. We want that to be 100 by 100. Perfect. That's it. These should all be 100 by 100. That's correct. Right, now we have 8 textures for the Victorian house. And what I can do is save all these. I've got to try and think of names now. Yeah, so look at that. It's perfect. 100 by 106 mil. Absolutely perfect. File, export. I'm going to make them PNGs. I certainly don't need them to be that big. Really, they only need to be 2048. Don't need to do anything else with that. Okay, perfect. Right, so Victorian house, I'm going to call this wallpapers. Wallpapers. Right. I couldn't stream yesterday. I just got so sick and tired of having to keep monitoring my microphone and it dropping out and doing all of these things and then not streaming correctly, and then I had problems with Blender crashing, and also again yesterday I watched a couple of other streamers have exactly. I just think there's problems, but a couple of other streamers also had purple flowers wallpaper. You know, with things crashing, and this chap that I was, watching yesterday, his Blender kept crashing, and I just thought, well, it's not just me then. For whatever reason, I don't know whether it was because of Twitch or OBS or what. I mean, it's so difficult to determine half the time what is the cause of the problem. 2048. Correct. Export. This one is green, so let's just call this green. It's not flowers, is it? It's kind of green mottled wallpaper. export, size 2048, export, this is going to be blue V lines, as in vertical lines. Okay. I really love this program. I haven't really been excited about a vector and graphics program since probably whenever the last version of Draw Plus came out, because every version of Draw Plus was always really good, and there were just lots and lots of time saving things that you could do, and editing tools and such like. And oh, why did that change? 2048. Thank you. And like I said in a previous stream, I just like software that works. Software that just works. It just works, and it does exactly what you want it to do. And I just want to make sure that they are actually coming out at 2048. No, they're not coming out at 204. Why are they not coming out at 2048? That one is. Oh. That's interesting. Okay. The only one that came out at 2048 was the... Okay. Export PNG. Oh, it seems to change. Oh, hang on a minute. Well, in that case, am I pushing the limit on this? No, that looks fine. I want the resolution. Okay. I'll leave it at that then. It doesn't need to be 2048 then. Export. Save. So I need to do the grey one again. Ooh, that's fine because the quality is amazing. Only want that. Okay, that's fine then. That is fine. Right, so we've got 4 more. File, export. Only selected. As long as they're all the same size, I don't really mind. So I keep doing that. What is this one? This is sort of light blue flower wallpaper. Export. Only selected. And this is going to be white plaster wallpaper. Well, it's not really wallpaper, but I know what that means. They're all calling them. I'm calling them all wallpaper. So export, save. This is kind of what would you call that? Microphone still working? Yes. I guess this is sort of light green, vertical lines, pattern. Okay, last one. Export. This one will be, let's just say, black V-lined lines, black vertical lines, wallpaper. There we go. Perfect. Let's just save this. It's already saved. Okay, that's fine. There are some... What else? So I've done the fireplaces. I haven't really shown you the fireplaces. After I had all those problems with the system, Blender crashing and audio problems and all the rest of it, blah blah blah, moan. After that, I thought, I just rebooted my computer and thought, no, I'm not going to be defeated with this, and I went ahead and did the fireplaces. Now I'm very, very happy with how the fireplaces turned out. So the doors, I think I need to go back and do something with the doors again. I'm not 100% happy with the doors, the internal doors. External doors will be relatively easy to do. I've got the front door and the back door. The external of the house, I've already got texture for that. I've done the texture for the internal window, so that's been done. All these wallpapers have been done. The only thing I've got left, really, the front door, back door, and the kitchen. Now today, let me bring up. I don't know whether anyone else uses this, but I love programs that just work. PureRef is what I use for reference images, and you can basically pick up reference images from anywhere, and basically dump them in this little program. And so if I load my fireplaces and hobs, right, so this is the kind of, actually I think this was the one that I modelled my kitchen from, is this particular one. So obviously this is not, I need mine to look a little bit more grungy than this, because this has been restored, and it probably looked like that, a couple of 100 years ago, but obviously after 100 years of use and whatnot, it wouldn't have looked like this. And so this is restored. I don't want mine to look that perfect, so I love this kind of the detail. So I might grab these. It's going to be difficult to try and match it, to be honest with you. But what I got these images for was obviously referencing things like, look at them, the size of these hinges. They're absolutely massive. And of course this is all cast iron. All of this would have been cast iron. So the fire would have been in here. This is a water tank that would have been heated. Obviously you've got the hob there, and you've got like a hot plate at the top, and then you've got an oven here, and then you've got, I don't know what this would have been, possibly just a holding, after you've roasted your chicken or whatever, you would put it in there to keep it warm, maybe, I don't know. but there's all sorts of different types made. I mean, this must have been big business back in the day, you know. And some have got some really... And then actually a common thing, which I may need to add to mine, is this shelf that's at the top. And they've all got these brass bars. And I'm guessing that would have been for hanging tea towels or, you know, drying clothes on. You know, they all seem to have them. So this must have been quite a feature. So I need to add that in, and I think that would again just be a small detail. And something else that I've noticed, that most of the time you've got cast iron handles, and then every now and then you've got something with a brass handle on it. So yeah, lots of different things. And then you've got some obviously with these pot holders. You've got some with double ovens, or a hot box and an oven, and then, you know, another hot plate here and something at the top there. And I mean, again, you know, there's just no... Now I can remember when I was younger, when I was sort of 10, 11 years old, my parents decided to move to Ireland. And I think I mentioned this before in a different video, but I that's when we lived in this Victorian mansion, and we shared this house with another family, and that's kind of a little bit where I'm getting a lot of my inspiration from. And for a long time, we always, houses that we moved in around in Ireland, there was always an Aga, you know, not this old, obviously, but there was the old traditional style Aga. I don't know. I guess they call them cookers. You know, they are. Here we go. Here is exactly what we had. Yeah, there we go. This kind of thing. So there's an Aga. And that is pretty much it was bog standard kitchen appliance, really, in most, most houses. And if we could afford one now, I'd definitely get one. But of course, you can get them gas fired now and oil fired, and people obviously don't use, but obviously this kind of thing would have been the kind of, as that whole big unit, they would have got smaller and smaller and smaller, and then they would have how to restore an Aga stove in 2018. Wow. So it's gone from that to that. It's quite amazing. But yeah, I suppose, as these things got more and more efficient, they got smaller. But yeah, there you go. I mean, there's a bog standard Aga. I mean, that's what and I swear the food that you cook on an Aga tastes different. It really does. It really tastes different. There's something about, having an Aga in your kitchen, and it used to heat the whole of our floor, and when it was the middle of winter and things like that, and I always used to sit with my back to the Aga, and there's something really quite nice about having an Aga cooker. These are obviously more modern equivalent Aga cookers now. But it's one of those investments, isn't it? It's like buying the best set of saucepans or, cutlery or whatever. I mean, it's a one-off purchase. It's a purchase you make, and it will probably be the only purchase you ever make. Especially if you're gonna live in your house, or you intend to live in your house for the rest of your life. Anyone in chat? No. Okay. So these are my reference images. And nearly all of the Victorian, kind of early Victorian, you know, I mean, these things were monstrosities. Look at them. Huge. So I need to use this as my reference for when I do the texturing, and I'll be doing texture painting. Well, that was what I was trying to do, wasn't it? And I just couldn't get Blender to behave correctly. There was just something really, really strange happening that day, and I wasn't the only person that was having the problem. But, interesting. And I just, you know, rebooted my computer, rebooted the computer, and went back in and did the fireplaces just like that. Boom. I was really, really pleased with how they turned out. So my fireplaces are kind of loosely based on these. I haven't put a wooden surround on mine. Mine's just cast iron all the way around. Yeah, like this kind of. I didn't pick up any cast iron, but I did mine just slightly different. This arch I made out of brick on mine, and the whole surround is just, you know, just massive cast iron. I suppose I could have made it wood, but you know, again, there's no standard on this stuff. Okay. So we're back to these textures. Don't need that anymore. I mean, I don't know whether I should go and do things like model, you know, I mean, I could do, you know, model like a table and chairs. Excuse me. You know, that's the kind of thing, you see, that's a big, look at that. Amazing. Great big sort of cast iron thing there, and all the preservatives and tins and jars and whatnot. Great big storage jars there. You know, you've got a great big table there, and it doesn't look like any of those chairs match. So, you know, that's another thing, isn't it? Nowadays, everything has to match, you know, whereas back then you were just grateful to sit on a chair. And didn't really care too much whether it matched or not. And I could model a table. I mean, it would probably set the kitchen off quite nicely. I don't know. I quite like that idea as well. You know, sort of a stack of shelves and some cupboards on the underneath with a top there with lots of copper pans and saucepans, and it looks like, you know, a jam pot there, and yeah, all sorts of things going on there. Anyway, so other than that, I think I've got all the textures that I really need now. I don't think there's really anything else that I need to. Let me just show. I just want to show you what I did today, earlier this morning. I can show you a picture of it. Okay, so we're in the right directory, and here we go. Okay, so this is what I modelled today as part of an exercise for there's a few, well, there's lots of artists that I follow, but one of the artists that I follow does kind of a weekly exercise to try and help other people. And one of my biggest things is I'm not an arty, you know, freehand drawing and all that kind of thing. I certainly can't draw, but basically any medium goes. So I did actually ask, is it okay if I do my stuff in 3D and in digital? And they're obviously, she does traditional. She draws in inks and all sorts of stuff, and she's also traditional and digital, but she doesn't do 3D. And I said, is it okay if I do stuff in 3D, because that's the only place I do art. And she said, yeah, fine. So I actually quite like the challenge of having, and so there's themes every week. It's brilliant, actually. It really pushes your creativity into what you can do. So there was one that the word was just deep, and so I made I'd already had a model that I'd made of a Greek temple, and I sunk it, and I created this atmospheric kind of underwater scene with the Greek temple, and that did quite well. And then the next one was a circle, and I didn't read the brief fully. And it was supposed to be a red circle, something in art. Doesn't really matter what it is, but it has to incorporate a red circle. And I didn't read the red circle bit. I did a white circle, I think, something like that. But again, I created a 3D atmospheric kind of abstract thing that had a white circle involved in it. But I did read the brief this week, and the brief this week I missed a week because it was about character something, and I thought, no, that's well beyond my and it was difficult, I think, because not a lot of people actually submitted artwork last week. So this week was about precious jade, and green jade and something precious. And so I spent a few hours trying to model a dragon, not too dissimilar to this one, actually, and I just couldn't do it. Sculpting is not my forte. It's an area that I keep dabbling in, and I think I may need to go on a course to do with sculpting. I would love to know how to do sculpting. But anyway, this is a model that came from a university in America that they give away all their scanned models. And so I managed to find this, and I thought, okay, and it was just literally a plain model. There was no textures, nothing on there. And I thought, yeah, that's really, really good. So... and it was nearly 1 million tries, so I decimated it, brought it down to a bit more workable level, and produced this. So I did actually say in my submission that this was not my model. Yeah, this is not my model, but everything else I did. So the texturing, there are pin lights inside the model to make it look translucent. Obviously it is a translucent, I turned it into a translucent model, but it's very difficult to try and light it, and so I kind of put 4 pin lights in there that gave it that sort of translucent look. Obviously the lighting I added, and the plinth and such like, and I just thought red really sets this off, and I quite like, because obviously this, there's 100 different types of jade. You've got clear, pure, jade that looks like clear glass, all the way to a light coloured stone that's called jade, and the variations in between are just, there's no standard. There are obviously different qualities of jade, but jade in itself tends to have a lot of imperfections in it. So I textured this using the Curtis Holt's ambient occlusion you know, ambient grunge to give it, you know, some kind of dirt and ambient occlusion I added on there. And as I say, I put 4 pin lights in. There is 2 spotlights behind. Obviously you can see the shadow, you know, the light, specular light here, and on the front you've got that separation between the foreground, the image, you know, the object, obviously the dragon, and the backdrop. So it makes it stand out a bit, and it looks translucent, but it also looks quite imperfect, which you've heard me talking about many times before, about sometimes things looking a bit too perfect and fake. You know, nothing's perfect. Very rarely does anything ever come out perfect. And then today, after I submitted it, I was quite happy with this, and I played around with various different things, and I thought, I don't really want to overdo it, because if you listen to some of the Blender guru type people that have been saying, you know, all along in all of their tutorials that, you know, don't be a perfectionist, because you never ever come to the end. There is a point where you've just got to say, okay, that's it. You know, it's good. It's good where it is. I don't need to do any more. So I did it with this, and I tried. I mean, I think it actually kind of almost as far where I am, there is a reflector to kind of throw light back into the model, because it was quite dark and the pin lights looked a bit too false. So with an object like this, you're always going to get reflection, unless you take it in a completely darkened room with only, you know, but any lights on a shiny object like jade is going to reflect. And so you kind of have to be very aware about the where the specular lighting is reflecting from, because that's what makes it look fake if you don't do your lighting properly. So I've got obviously a big light here to the right going down, and you can see the shadows being cast here. There is a spotlight which is lighting the floor over on the left hand side, but it's not strong enough to cast any shadows in the opposite direction, which, you know, kind of again makes it look a little bit too fake, but gives enough light for it to separate it from the backdrop. I mean, this is the photographer and me talking, you know, it's... and then today I played around with a slightly different version, which you know, to me this is kind of going a little bit too far. So I added an awful lot of ambient occlusion, which you can see down the round. I then put some sort of grunge on the red to kind of break that up, and then darkened the, you know, the separation. I mean, I think it looks good, but personally I think it's gone beyond, it's gone too far. You know, I personally, I like this. And I also submitted my screenshot of Blender to kind of prove that it's not a photograph of a jade, you know, that I did actually do something to produce the effect. And you can see all those black circle lines there are all the lighting, you know, the lighting involved. So I think altogether for this there were 2 large studio lights effectively with a reflector board, which is what's given it this, you know, kind of an effect. And then there were 4 pin lights inside the model to kind of bring out the translucency and the imperfections on the dragon. And again, you don't want to overdo it, you know, because it will just look so fake. So, you know, you want to make it look like light is going through the object, but not, you know, you haven't got a torch behind it. That kind of thing. Anyway, that's enough waffling of this. But anyway, that's what I did. I think Victorian, if I go back to the Victorian house, I think that I've got the texture that I baked for... Oh yeah, there we go. There's the texture I baked. I mean, it doesn't look like an awful lot, but this is the texture that I baked for the fireplace. And, you know, of course it doesn't look 100% there, but, you know, you can see I put details in there, you know, made it look like it was dirty and a bit grungy. And this is the texture that will be on the back of the windows in the Victorian house when someone looks out. So it will look like there's a frame there, but there won't be a physical frame like there is on the outside. And this is what cuts down the land impact and the you know, and this is a PNG file, so the black portions there, you know, will be translucent, you know, opaque, not opaque, transparent. That's the word I'm looking for. It's getting late. It's getting late. Anyway, so yeah, kind of I think this was my oh, this was actually an attempt I made to... Oh, this was the this is my attempt at making the oven door on the cooker, and that was quite a while ago now. I think that was about two or 3 weeks ago. I attempted that, and this is the texture I did for the lamppost. There's the rest of the lamppost there. So yeah, again, thank you very much for watching. It's always appreciated, and it's just really nice to see, you know, people watching my videos, even though it's you know, I don't get people in chat very often, but it's just encouraging that people are watching my videos. And so yeah, I will be streaming over the weekend, more than likely, well, potentially both Saturday and Sunday streaming. So I really would like to try and get the Victorian house done. Oh, I know another texture I've got to do. The stairs. But I think the stairs will be relatively easy to do. Yeah, I think they'll be relatively easy to do. Anyway, thanks once again, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow.